Last season, we won everything there was to win, with the exception of the Champions League when we got beaten in the final in the last episode. So now we have a transfer special and we need to get that squad ready to be able to finally win the Champions League. Welcome to the transfer special, folks. And this is kind of an important transfer special because I feel like it's potentially the last major transfer window that we could have in this save, because all my focus this season is going to be on winning the Champions League and effectively bringing an end to this save. We discussed it at length during last season, so I'm not going to go on about it at length again this season. Maybe when we get to the second half of the season, that's when we can discuss it in more detail. But I bring you here to the squad screen, and mainly because I've still got a decision to make about these two guys here. Fabiano Parisi, backup left back. He's 33 years old, 2.5 stars. He's decent, don't get me wrong, he's a decent player. His contract expires in a month's time. He's on £195,000 a week. I'm kind of thinking we just let him go and bring in a younger, better backup left back. But the bigger issue is the Kai Havertz one, because since the last episode when we lost to Inter Milan in the Champions League final, I've taken a few days break from the series because that seriously gutted me losing that game. It really did. I was so disappointed at losing it. But also another reason is because I really needed to put some thought into what I want to do with Kai Havertz, because we have the option of a 1-year extension, so we can just extend his contract by a further year, keep him here on £275,000 a week as a really good option as a backup to Kenta Mahara, which is basically where he plays. But Kai can also play in the out wide on the right and also up top as well. So he does have multiple positions to his name, as you can see by this. However, he does turn 35 in a couple of weeks' time before his contract expires. He is already the oldest player at the club, and I'm struggling to justify £275,000 a week for someone that this season, if we go onto this screen, you'll see it here where he's made 30 league appearances, 6 goals, 3 assists at 6.99. But down here, out of those 30 appearances, only 9 of them have been starts. You know, in all competitions last season, from 22 starts and 32 sub-appearances, he scored 9 goals, 6 assists, so 15 goal contributions from 54 appearances at an average rate of 6.95. So he's still got the ability. I mean, when you look at his attributes here, all of the reds indicate they're 16 and above. So, and there's a lot of red in there. His physicals are starting to drop a bit, as you can imagine. He's not really got the pace and acceleration at the moment. He's still got natural fitness. But obviously these are going to start plummeting more and more. But he is still a very decent quality. I mean, Kai Havertz is just very good in Football Manager. And the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm talking myself into actually keeping him around for one more season. And there is also the fact that at the moment he's wanted by 4 Saudi Arabia clubs. Maybe if we keep him around, we might get a few million for him. I mean, we bought him for 65 million back in the first season of the save. He's made a lot of appearances and scored a lot of goals and had a lot of assists for Arsenal over the years. He's done really rather well. But we do have the option here to trigger his contract extension. And I don't know. I'm really umming and ahhing over this. I still haven't really made up my mind. But this transfer window, as I said, could be a massive one. We have to look at who is homegrown at club at the moment. We do still have Jack Gordon in the squad here, who's one of our backup striker kind of thing. He's more here for the fact that he's homegrown at club. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So one of these homegrown players could leave and we would still have enough players in the squad. If we have a look at how many we've got in this squad at the moment, with all these players here, we have 25. So we are literally at a case of we can't bring in until we sell. Okay, so all of these will be here. If we do get rid of or take Jack Gordon out of it, it still leaves us with 8. So we don't necessarily have to register him for Europe. But overall as well, I'm not looking at wanting to tear this club apart or anything like that, because as you can see here, and from the success we've had this season, which we'll look at in the end of season review part shortly, we have a really good squad. We really do. We have a really, really good quality team. And this season, I think the Champions League has absolutely got to be the main focus for us. And that comes more into it in the second half of the season, because you'd expect us to qualify to the knockout stages anyway. So, yeah, kind of in the second half of the season is where business picks up. If we look at the finances, we're £158 million in debt. I expect that to improve a little bit because we will start getting money coming in. We've got 300,000 left in the wage budget. If we let Kai Havertz go, we'd have around 600,000 left in the wage budget. We've also got a transfer budget of 113.2 million that we can spend this summer, and that's before anybody leaves. And if we go back to looking at the squad again, we're filtered by the position in the team. Pataka is wanted by Paris Saint-Germain. Saliba's wanted by a host of clubs: Aston Villa, Lazio, Udinese, Barcelona and Saudi Arabia. Then we've got Bukayo Saka, who's wanted by a whole host. Oh no, it's only one now. Earlier on it was a whole host of Saudi Arabian clubs. Al Ittihad is in for him at the moment, or interested in him. He's also, and then we've got Shaquille Van Persie, who's wanted by PSG, Inter and Lazio. Schmetz is wanted by Lazio. Caldurin is wanted by Udinese. Gustavo Gonzalez is wanted by Newcastle and Hoffenheim. And it goes on and on and on. Players are interested in, or clubs are interested in, a lot of our players. And obviously we have got the arrangement with Saliba that if any of these or any clubs come in with an offer of 70 million for him, then we will let him go. And he will be a huge miss. But we do have the likes of Brian Kayunda, who's 4-star current ability with 5-star potential, that would just slot straight in. And then we just bring in an understudy, sort of, a young wonder kid type understudy to take his place. But yeah, overall, I am happy with this squad and not really looking at making changes that I don't have to make. So I need to make a decision on Kai Havertz, and Fabiano Parisi, I've decided, will be going, so we'll be bringing in a left back, hopefully. But yeah, other than that, it could be a quiet transfer window, because I just think pretty much we just go again this season. But let's go and have the end of season review, and we'll get into transfers in more detail after that. End of season review time, and as you can see there, we've won a treble. We can't call it the treble because it's not got the Champions League trophy on it, but we have won the domestic treble. The Premier League, I mean, that should have red on there now. The FA Cup and the Carabao. Does the Carabao Cup look like that in real life? Because that looks quite an extravagant trophy. It actually makes the FA Cup look a bit tiny, really, doesn't it? But yeah, the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup and the Premier League. We also did win the World Club Championship and Community Shield, but they're not shown on there for whatever the reason. So, new arrivals. Kenta Mahara has got a star signing, A+. We won't go into the board's reason why it's an A+, but it's an A+ for us. 96 million, we hit the release clause. 53 starts, 1 substitute appearance, 29 goals, 24 assists at 7.61. That's 53 goal contributions from 54 games. If that's not worth 96 million or more, I don't know what is. Aurelio Calvo, also from Crystal Palace. We had 3 of them from Crystal Palace. They were my former club, if you new to the series since we joined Arsenal. £65 million, again, matched his release clause. 53 appearances, 4 goals, 8 assists at 7.08. He was awesome, and I knew he would be. Roger Giardino from SPO, 15.75 million, 53 appearances. He pretty much split that quite evenly, because Thiago Silva was the other guy that kind of came in with him. 3 goals, 4 assists at 7.06. Thiago Silva from Barcelona, a year younger than Giardini, 59 million, 40 appearances, 2 goals, 6 assists at 7.02. Mauricio Escalada from Crystal Palace, where he matched his release clause, 53 appearances, 3 goals, 1 assist at 7.01. And Brian Kayunda from Leicester City for 34 million. He came in as a backup to Saliba and Escalada. And no goals, 2 assists, 6.99 from 37 appearances. Most of those from the subs bench. Did get 15 starts, to be fair. I was actually really pleased with him. In terms of transfers out, Mark Guay went out for £29.5 million. He's gone to Al Hilal. he's had a really good time with him, 7.63. Declan Rice went out for 19 million to Al Ittihad, 57 appearances, 5 goals, 7 assists, 7.50. He's had a really good season. I mean, pretty much everyone we've let go seems to have had a pretty decent season. Ibrahim Isak, free transfer, he was let go. Arthur Tiata, or actually Isak and Tiate both had transfers agreed before we joined the club. He also joined Al Hilal, so they got both our centre-backs from last season, Guehi and Tiate. Then Sango, we let go for 50 million to Atletico Madrid. He's made 22 appearances, he's scored 14 goals, 4 assists, 7.11. He's only 24 years old. He is a very decent striker. We just couldn't give him the game time here. We were overrun with attackers. Martin Odegaard, club legend, of course, 8.25 million. We let him go to Lazio. 10 goals, 10 assists. 35 years old. He's still tearing it up for them. Ben Allenham went to Wolves for 21.5 million. Again, he's another one of their youngsters. Never really had room for him. He's gone to Wolves and doing really well there. And then we get into some more players that we made 11.25 million on Tony Cuesta. We made 33 million on Rafael. 24.5 million on Danilo. We made some pretty good signings. It's one of the reasons why I'm struggling to understand how we're doing so poorly financially. But loans won't worry too much about that. In terms of the competitions, how it unfolded, the English Premier Division, A-. I mean, we won the league by 16 points. I don't know how it's not an A+, to be fair. We only lost 2 games all season, but yeah, they only wanted us to qualify for the Champions League. We won it by a country mile. The Champions League, a B. They wanted us to reach the latter stage, the quarterfinals, semi-finals, and we ended up being runners-up. You know, we only lost 2 games in the competition all season, obviously Inter Milan in the final, and also against PSG in the group phase thing. We drew with Leipzig in one of the knockout rounds, but other than that, we won everything. Most of it we won at a canter as well, to be fair. We won the FA Cup, beating Huddersfield, Newcastle, Watford, Barnsley, Man City and Fulham. That's quite a nice run in the FA Cup, to be fair. A B- in that one. Again, when you win something, I don't know how you can't get anything other than an A+. You've won the competition. Carabao Cup, B+. We beat Sunderland, Reading, Man United, Newcastle and Tottenham. Moving on to moments to remember. Biggest win was an 8-0 win against West Ham. Nwaneri getting a couple, Van Persie with 3, Schmetz with 2 goals and Havertz on the score sheet as well. Match to remember was a 3-0 win against Manchester City. Schmetz, Havertz and Mahara. And the goal of the season was Zaire Emery. I mean, he's a real unsung hero for us, Zaire Emery. 2-0 win against Liverpool. A truly memorable goal from the Arsenal defensive midfielder Zaire Emery as he hits an effort from 21 metres. I really wish that would say yards, which curled past the goalkeeper. The finances, might not want to look at this. Our sponsorship has gone down by about 6 million. Our broadcast revenue has gone down by about 3 million. Our corporate and hospitality has gone up by a few $100,000. Our competition prize money has gone up by like 50 million. And our match day and commercial and retail has gone up by a few $100,000 as well. We were 5-star, we're still 5-star. Total merchandise sales, 89.23 million. 1.2 million shirt sales. Nwaneri, Saka, Mahara, Van Persie and Saliba selling the most of our shirts. Our first 11, all green. That is a first for me on bottoms up, without a doubt. Restes in goal, Calvo left back, Pataka right back, Escalada and Saliba in the middle of the defence. That seems about right. Zaire Emery, 7.21 for Zaire Emery. If we just look at him, 57 appearances, 9 goals, 9 assists, 7 goals, 7.21. He doesn't get the plaudits he deserves. He was immense for us. And Giardini alongside. And then we've got Van Persie, Mahara, Saka and Schmetz. All of them were just simply sensational. Between Saka, Mahara and Van Persie, you're looking at 60, 75 goals between them 3 alone. 100 goals if you include Schmetz as well. We were mind blown. That's why it was so disappointing that we went out so limply in the final, where we just had nothing about us. In terms of the accolades, I won many Manager of the Month awards and Manager of the Year. Record breakers, Kenta Mahara has broken the record for the amount of assists in the season. He's got 24, and Guillaume Restes has 34 clean sheets last season. That's the most clean sheets by a player in a season. Player awards, Kenta Mahara was the fans' player of the season. The young player of the season, Kenta Mahara. Sign of the season, Kenta Mahara. He's mentioned a lot. Goal of the season, Warren Zaire-Emery. Top goal scorer, Kenta Mahara. Most assists, Kenta Mahara. Most player of the match awards, Kenta Mahara. And most passes completed per 90 minutes, William Saliba. Now, for anyone that questioned my decision to pay the £96 million for Kenta Mahara on his release clause, I think it's been justified. I really think it has. Right, history in the making. Titles are won and lost in the heart of every season, and that's been the case for Arsenal as they celebrate winning the title. That spell of football in the middle of the season was the making of Arsenal. It really set them up for success. ITV and Daily Mirror, whatever. It was our form throughout the season. These are obviously the trophies we won as well. Manager timeline is what the manager timeline is. I do want to bring you back down here a little while because there are some awards coming in here. So Kenta Mahara claims the UEFA Champions League Player of the Season. He's also got the UEFA Champions League Young Player of the Season. The Arsenal players in the Dream 11 for the Champions League, Calvo, Pataka, Mahara. As you see, Inter Milan heavily featured in that. Then in the Champions League award winners, Restes came second in Goalkeeper of the Season. Pataka first in Defender of the Season. Mahara in there, or number one for Midfielder of the Season. And Nick Jonas-Schmetz was third for Forward of the Season. World Cup squads have been announced. Players have been called up for international duty. We'll be getting that stuff coming through. Schmetz has been named in our overall best 11. So that is what our best 11 looks like at the moment. Nusa, Jesus, Martinelli as a front three. Havertz, Odegaard, Rice, White, Saliba, Tchate, Saka and Restes. And then players on the bench as well. Pause out if you want to read more. Won't worry about the best 11 where they are now. That's not really our problem. The Arsenal side of 2028, that's not a problem. So the support profile, hardcore is down to 5%. The core is up to 25%. The family is down to 22%. Fair weather is up to 22%. Corporate is staying at 4% and casual at 22%. 109,000 supporters on a season ticket waitlist. 45,117 currently have season tickets. 58.8 million followers on social media. That has climbed up by 6.3 million. And the support influence on the board is low and was low last season, remains low. If we carry on going up, just seeing what we've got coming through here. Vision and expectations, it's pretty much as it was. Reached the latter stage of the Champions League. They want us to win the Premier League this season. So there is that pressure on us, but I'm confident. Dynamics, they are what they are. Saka, Saliba and Havertz are among the team leaders. And that's another reason actually why it could be an idea to keep Havertz, because if Saliba does end up going, then we don't really want to lose two of their three team leaders. End of season team, I hate doing this. Right, they want us to win the Premier Division. So Premier Division next season, enjoy the time off after such a successful season. You'll deserve it. I'm sure we all want to retain the title now, so come back ready to make that happen. There you go, that's satisfied. I mean, for some reason, there's only like 7 of them that have appeared. And most of them, with the exception of maybe Calvo and Giardini, none of them are first teamers. So we can win this title, says Kai Havertz, but you might not be. You might not be here, pal. Brilliant, that's what I want to hear. That's all I want to talk about. Don't upset anyone, so we'll let them go. New season team report is what it is. Injuries, yeah, they happen. End of season break that came back on the 3rd of July. We'll request that to our summary box. I'm waiting to see where the training camp's going to be, but I guess we'll sort that out at another time. Right, what we'll do is we'll head on over to the scouting centre, and facilities have been downgraded. The training centres have been affected by these advancements. So if we go into here, look at facilities. So we're now so we need to request the board to up that. Facilities, improve training facilities. They'll get back to me shortly. That's all we're going to ask. There's not really much more we need. Scouting for a few players. We've got a right-sided wing-back, which we don't really need. Okay, we'll meet you over on the scouting centre and we'll have a look at left-backs that we are potentially going to bring in. Right, I'm in the scouting centre and there's this guy here, Roberto Diaz. He's 20 years old. He's only 2-star current ability at the moment, but he does have 5-star potential, as you can see, just above my beautiful head. He looks like a pretty... he must have a release clause that's 15.2 million. That's... Yeah, there you go. Minimum fee release clause of 15.2 million for foreign clubs. Looking at his attributes, he can play wing back. He prefers complete wing back, but he can be a wing back. He's got really good acceleration. He's got decent pace, very decent crossing, makes good decisions. Might need to improve his tackling somewhat. I mean, only a 9 for tackling is not great at all. He gets forward whenever possible. If we look at our tactic, on the left-hand side, we don't play attacking, we play support. So I'm not sure if he 100% fits into there. And with Aurelio Calvo, he's obviously the better player, and he's only 23 as well. He's still young, he's got a lot about him. But Roberto Diaz is certainly an option that we have, because I'm looking down our scouting recommendations at left backs at the moment, and I have found in FM that left backs can be pretty difficult to get hold of. We've got Umar Kayati, like good left backs, that is. He's got £1.7 million as a release clause in his contract, plays for Auxerre. He's 2 stars. If we hover over here, he's not going to get any better. For 1.7 million, it's hard to argue against that, considering it is just as a backup option. But if we go into our players in range, take it off goalkeeper and put it on left back, and make sure we don't want it just 18, we say up to 24, and okay. We have this guy here from Inter that I did look at last season, David Fernandez-Vinitsky. I mean, he's the type of player that if we're going to buy him, then he's absolutely going to come in as our number one. He'll be ahead of Aurelio Calvo without a doubt. And again, he looks like a really good wing back. If we change that to wing back onto support, it still stays at 3 stars. If we compare him with Calvo, because that is who he would be potentially replacing, I mean, you look at this and Calvo, they're the same for technical. Calvo is better aerially, he's better mentally, he's better defensively. They're the same physically, and he's better with vision. I don't actually think Vinitsky is actually better. He's quicker, and he's better in an attacking sense. But I don't think he's actually that much better than Calvo, if better at all. We look at the attributes. I mean, the attributes do shine mostly in Vinitsky's favour, which kind of contradicts the graph here. And I mean, the only thing he lacks, Vinitsky, on the physical side of things is jumping reach, which Calvo is really good at. That's going to be 53 to 74 million. I mean, potentially we might only be looking at buying one player, and that might be the only player that we buy. Looking at our squad, though, I am looking at wanting to improve the ball-winning midfielder role that we've got Thiago Silva and Giardini occupying at the moment. So what it would mean is if we got someone for there, we would be looking at letting one of them two go. But in terms of the left back, I think what I'm going to do is if we add him to our shortlist indefinitely, he's certainly someone we could look to bring in without a doubt. Then after that, you've got Roberto Diaz that we've already looked at, of course. Shaquille Harvey at Chelsea, who's only 1.5 star. He's only 18. He does have 3.5 to 4.5 star potential. If we wanted someone more set, we've got Gianluca Belfiore of Udinese, 3-star current ability with 4-star potential, 21 years of age. He can play the wing back. He's 2.5 stars at that. He doesn't really jump out quite like Calvo or Vinitsky or Diaz or whatever. If we compare him to Calvo, again, looking at the attribute side of it, attributes he mainly is ahead of him on. But again, Calvo has better physicals. We look at it on this graph here. Belfiore is in the green. I mean, Belfiore actually seems like a better player than Zenitsky. If we compare him with Zenitsky, yeah, I mean, Gianluca Belfiore actually does look the better player, to be fair. and that's given me cause for thought. He's made 40 appearances last season, no goals, 3 assists, pass completion is 90% at 7.09. If we look at Vinitsky, he was a 7.06, 8 assists, no goals from 50 appearances. And then, who's the other guy? Roberto Diaz, barely played last season. So, there's players there. Let's have a look now for the ball-winning midfielder. And if we filter that down to ball-winning midfielder, I mean, there's really not many options for that, is there? Do we change it from ball-winning midfielder? I mean, in our tactic, we've got the deep line playmaker. Do we keep with a ball-winning midfielder? Maybe change to a defensive midfielder? Anchor, half-back, register, all that sort of stuff? Segunda Volante. I've never played as Segunda Volante. That's more of an attacking option, isn't it? So, gives me pause for thought that we might need to just change from a ball-winning midfielder, because they seem to be a bit of a dying breed, to be quite honest. Bukayo Saka has been named the European Men's Player of the Year award. João Felix coming second and Endrick third. Just having a quick look through this. He dedicates the award to me. Well, thank you very much. I'll better congratulate you, I suppose. Then a new contract for a coach. So here we are with the players that are... I need to have a good look at some of these, because, I mean, Parisi, we're setting him for release. That's it. He's done. He's going to go. We'll set him for release. I suppose we can trigger an extension. Set for release. Set for release. We'll trigger a couple of extensions. I mean, that one I'm quite happy to set for release. And we'll just set these other two for release, I suppose. I mean, 20, 20 and 20, they're not going to get much better. I just can't decide on Kai Havertz. I really can't, and I need to hurry up because he's now got less than a month left on his contract. Staff contracts are what they are. I think I've decided to let my ones, the ones that are under 21s, under 18s, I leave that to the director of football. But like Jonathan Vidali, he's a scout. I think we can do better than that, even though he's improving. The loan manager, Harry Evans, I'll probably offer him a new contract, to be fair. Let's get that. So I don't normally actually negotiate price too much. Sports scientist, I mean, he's only 13. He has physiotherapy. We'll keep him. What's the point in upsetting the apple cart? He probably gets on well with some of the players. When you look at our staffing as well, I mean, scouting with a fraction off being the best, but yeah, we've basically got the best of everything. So that scout will go. We'll get in a better scout than him. Then we'll be top of scouting as well. Youth contract set to expire. I'll have a look through these, and I'll also keep my eye out for potential players to bring in. Otherwise, I'll probably see you back here on the 1st of July. So we've basically not moved forward at all, but I've just made an offer for a couple of players. First one here is Ochuang. Mading Ochuang plays in the defensive midfield role as a ball-winning midfielder. He's 2.5 stars currently. He has 5-star potential, and he is a wonder kid as well. And he looks pretty decent. You know, he's got good tackling, marking. His aggression, bravery, and agility is top-notch. Positioning, teamwork, work rate. He's got really decent physicals for someone that's only 18. So we've put in an offer for him of 50 million plus 25 million in add-ons. Then we've got it's not him. Hang on, who's our other guy? Hang on. We did have another guy that we put in an offer for, but he's not come through yet. So we'll do the contract negotiation with Ochong first. Wants to be a squad player. That's perfectly good to me. He wants a 10% yearly wage rise, which I don't like doing, so we'll take those out. He wants this after he's played this many games. All seems fine. He's going to want to be paid more money because I've taken out the yearly wage rise. A 5-year contract is fine. 77,000. Can we get him down to 70,000? No, you want 7. Well, you're not going to keep up in that, mate. So we're going to take that one down straight away. And we leave that as that is as well. There you go. He's got his 77,000 that he wanted. So that should be an 18-year-old wonder kid in a ball-playing midfield role, pretty much in. Let's just skip forward slightly because we should have the next one come in for contract negotiations. That's their financial. I mean, we're £166 million in the red at the moment. Current financial status, by the way, is okay. So they want Havertz. Jean-Marie Palau has won the Young Player of the Month accolade. I mean, the season's finished. I don't know why we're still doing these. We'll give him a pat on the back and say well done anyway. Then, so Bruno Silva, that defensive midfielder, or a defensive midfielder, weren't that defensive midfielder, is a different person. He's won an award anyway. He likes to be a deep line playmaker, which we don't really need. Right, I'm pretty certain there should be... Has it been rejected? I am very confused because if we go back into the scouting centre, players in range, this guy here, Joshua Chambers, I'm pretty certain I put in a bid for this boy, but clearly we've not. So let's make an offer. We're going to do pretty much the same as what we've done last time round, but we're going to lower it a little bit, maybe to 40 million, I think. So they want up to 87 million. So we give 40 there. Then in instalments, we'll do 35 probably. Because then it's sort of between that range slightly. 37 million in instalments. Let's see what they say to that. They're fine with that. 77 million overall. We should now be able to... That's the guy I thought I'd actually brought him in. So yeah, if we actually have a look at him, Joshua Chambers, he's a left back, plays in the wing back position. He's got great acceleration, great balance, great pace and stamina. Positioning and teamwork is excellent. He can put in a decent cross. He can tackle, he can pass, he can mark. He looks really decent. And for Wolves, the last 3 seasons he's been in the Premier League. He was out on loan in Scotland and League One before that, but the last 3 seasons he's been in the Premier League, getting assists, getting a decent average rating, kind of is improving every season, and kind of seems like a no-brainer to me. Plus he's English, so he will contribute towards the homegrown in nation side of things, and he's happy to be a squad player, which is fine with me. He wants 135 after 5 international appearances. I'm not paying for you to make international appearances, my friend. We'll up that to 5 million just to curry a bit of favour for him. Let's see how much he wants to increase his £135,000 a week by. 160. I do not think so. Can we negotiate with you? 145? Or 160. We'll take it. £160,000 a week. If we look at the squad status and look at Parisi, wherever he's gone to now, it's a savings on him, plus he's better and younger and whatever else. So, yeah, that could be a couple of good additions for our squad. And I'll let you know shortly whether they're joining us or not. 2 new signings in, Joshua Chambers, Mading Otrang. Both players are in the last part of the video. 3 stars for Chambers, 2.5 stars for Otrang, but obviously he's a wonder kid with lots and lots of potential, oodles and oodles of potential. The board reckon he costs a little too much overall though, time will tell in that. And with Joshua Chambers, pleased to sign a player of his calibre, hoping he can make an impact at both ends of the pitch, and turns out to be a successful signing. You and me both, Mr. Paul Mitchell, Director of Football. So we'll send, presumably him on a language course. I don't think he needs to go on one. We'll welcome the new signings. Saka can welcome Chambers. Well done, thank you very much for that one. And Zaire for Otrung. I'm probably pronouncing his name completely wrong, I know that. £432 million spent by us on transfer fees this season. That's because it still falls into last season's category. Crystal Palace want Gustavo Gonzalez. They're offering us 20.5 million for him. I mean, he's 24 years old. He can play in the defensive midfield area. as a ball-winning midfielder, or you can play at centre-back. It was actually pretty decent for us last season, but didn't really get that much game time. So I'm kind of thinking maybe we take this. I'll tell you what, if they're prepared to bump that up to 15 million, what's his wage like? It's only 66,000. He's a fringe player. We'll make that 5 million. And then after 20 appearances, you can pay us another 5 million. If you're prepared to give me 25 million for him, you can have him. If not, then go away. And they are prepared. So our business dealings with Crystal Palace continue. Gustavo Gonzalez could be on his way out, which means we would bring in another player similar to him. Probably not as a centre-back, probably more as a defensive midfielder. They want just fee. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but am I releasing him? He's got one more year on his contract. Fine, have him. I don't want him. I've not used him. Perez, you can bog off. We're not letting him go to anybody, so we will reject all offers for that. And yeah, so our two new signings are in. In terms of tactics, by the way, I am looking at a new tactic that I'm going to do during pre-season. It's not one that I'm potentially looking at doing on a week in basis, but it's a 4-3-3 tiki-taka. I've not touched any of these at all. The only thing I will do is to put play for set pieces on, and I'll probably do overlap on both sides of there. We've got work ball in the box on. Much shorter passing, much lower tempo. And basically, I'm just looking at this as something a little bit different, because if we actually look at this, you've got Calvo playing an inverted fullback, so he'll slot in here alongside Escalada and Saliba, with Pataka playing the inverted wingback, which means he will slot in the midfield here. So while Nwaneri goes forward, we'll still have a couple of players here shoring up our defence, box-to-box midfielder, which will go both ways. It's not something I'm particularly that interested in, but I just sort of thought I'm going to play it in pre-season for a little bit and just see how it goes. I'm actually going to take control of all the pre-season games, which reminds me, actually, I need to go into my staffing responsibilities match, and I will take control of the pre-season games, because usually I just, as you can see, I usually assign that to the assistant. But yeah, that's what we're going to do. And we haven't got our pre-season matches set up yet or anything like that, but I'll let you know how we get on as the season progresses. Now, I'm aware this is becoming a long transfer special, and we've only really signed 2 players and potentially sold 1. I have extended Kai Havertz's contract. I did give in to that in the end. He is now here until 2035 on £275,000 a week. That being said, if any of these clubs that are interested, Al Shabab, Al Ali and Al Qadsiya, if any of those are interested in him and they want to give me 5 to 6 million for him, I will sell him for that, because I'll be getting money for him. But otherwise, I'll see you at another point in the pre-season. Might even be closer to the start of the season, because at the moment, I've pretty much done all the transfer business I want to do. Right, a couple of big bits of transfer news coming in. William Saliba, Barcelona have offered 28 million. As you can see here, the transfer value is 70 million. We've agreed with Saliba that we will accept offers of 70 million. Obviously, 28 million is very much below that price. However, he is available to leave on a free transfer at the end of this season. Now, I'm kind of stuck with this one, because my business head is saying we're probably not going to get 70 million for a 33-year-old who's going to be 34 by the end of this season. So 28 million is better than nothing, and it's also £350,000 off our wage bill. The other side of me is saying, for a player of his ability, basically our aim is to win the Champions League. I don't care about the Premier League or any of the cup competitions. I have to care in the sense that we have a expectation by the club to meet, but all my focus is going in the Champions League this season, and William Saliba will be better for our chances of winning it than not. And you know, at the end of the day, he's 4.5 stars. He's still an elite player. So I'm thinking we reject this offer. You can't see it with my cursor. Here you go, just here. is hovering by the reject offer button. Am I mad for rejecting nearly 30 million? Or do I do with Saliba what I've done with Diamande, and we'll get to him in a moment? I think we do, because the clubs that are interested in him, I mean, you've got all these clubs, including Saudi Arabian clubs that are interested in him. I'm going to reject the 28 million, and he can't get mad at me either, because it's not the 70 million. So yeah, we've rejected a £28 million bid for William Saliba, but I am open to offers. However, Ousmane Diamande, he is out of contract at the end of this season, and he has absolutely no interest in re-signing a new contract. I've asked his agent to generate interest, and they've generated interest from Chelsea, Manchester United and Lazio. Now, it does say, despite Man United's bid, my client's preferred destination would be Al Nassr, but they've not put in an offer, so tough luck. I'm not prepared to sell him to what could be considered to be a rival. So I'm going to reject Chelsea and Manchester United, but I'll accept Lazio. If Al Nassr come in, fine, they can have him as well. But Diamande could be leaving for 50 million rather than a free at the end of the season, and it's another £150,000 taken off our wage bill, which would take our transfer budget up to around 80 million, with a good 400,000 on the wage budget. In terms of deals that have already gone in, if we go into the transfer history, we've had a lot of players leave on free transfers and whatever else, and Rory Byrne we've sold to Leeds for 325,000. But we go back to the last season side of it, and we've also had Amarildo Jusufi, who's another youngster we're not going to use. He's gone for 300,000 to Everton. Gustavo Gonzalez has completed his £20 million move, potentially rising to 25, to Crystal Palace. So that is that one done. So yeah, we'll wait and see now what happens with Diamande. If anything else happens with Saliba, I am considering asking his agent to generate interest of, because to be honest, I'll probably take 50 million, but just keep that to yourself. I think Manchester City want Shaquille Van Persie. They put in a bid previously for 85 million, which was broken up in instalments and that, like this is, and I rejected it. Now they've come back with a potential value of £104 million, and 59 million would be up front, 20 million in two 12-monthly instalments, and 25 million once he's played 20 games for them, which I'm assuming would be this season we'd get that 25 million. I'm not going to accept it. I'm going to reject it because I have no interest in buying him. And as you see, my client has no interest in joining Man City. So there's no worries about repercussions from him. So yeah, I continue to reject Manchester City's advances for Shaquille Van Persie. In terms of pre-season friendlies, we lost against Freiburg 3-1. Not really sure how that happened. I've given the running of the friendlies to the assistant because most of my players are away in international duty anyway, so we're just sticking with our usual formation. Freiburg are a good team, or a decent team, shall we say. Disappointed to lose it, but as you can see from the players that we had out there, we were missing a lot of players. Our under 21 goalkeeper just isn't up to scratch. Jusic, who's going to be leaving soon. Yeah, we had several first team. Chambers had a good game, which is good to see. But yeah, we're missing a lot of players. But other than that, 3-1 win against Lask, 5-0 win against Ujpest, 2-0 win against Reims, and a 4-1 win against Torino. We've got Tyrrell and Colchester to play next. And then we've got a testimonial for Kai Havertz against Bayer Leverkusen. I won't show you the Community Shield against Tottenham because it's a Community Shield. I don't really care if we win it or not. But our first two games of the season, at home to Norwich, away to West Ham. We're then at home to Wolves, before then going away to Crystal Palace, a Carabao Cup game, and at home to Chelsea, followed by Man United and Liverpool. Newcastle, by the way, have sacked their manager and have hired Mauricio Pochettino. They've also then come in and stolen my director of football off me. So clearly they're planning on making strides this season. If we go down to how we end the season, our final 5 games. West Brom at home, Tottenham away, Fulham at home, Man City away, Everton at home. So Tottenham and Man City both away from home in our final 5 games as it stands at the moment is not ideal, but that's the league. Not really anything else to bring you at the moment. Finances are fine. We've got 33 million in the transfer budget with 65 million pounds in debt, even though we've had all the Premier League money come in. And yeah, I'll see you if there's any more news for transfers or whatever else is going on. We're not that far away now from the beginning of the season. If we actually have a look at the competition, look at our season preview quickly, we are expected to win the league. Man United second, City third, Chelsea fourth. The fact that I turned down Man United and Chelsea, and Diomande, being the idiot that he is, has rejected rejected Lazio. So obviously we rejected the offers from Man United and Chelsea, and he's now rejected the offer from Lazio. I'm very inclined to leave him in my under-21s and just let him rot, but I won't. I'll have him in my squad, unless, of course, an offer comes in for him. Barcelona did try again with Saliba, but again, it was a nothing kind of bid, so I've rejected that again. So we're still up in the air at the moment. So let's see what happens. So it's match day, and not really anything else to bring you in terms of transfers. There's been no other transfers other than the Chambers and Ochong transfers that we've done the end of last season before it rolled over to the pre-season this time round. We've then got the transfers out. Amir Jusic, who's one of our wonder kids centre-backs, he's gone out on loan to Rangers for the season. It means he'll be getting regular first-team football with them. And Jurgen Moratti, who's a young striker that's probably never going to amount to anything. He's got 2 years on his contract. He's got a value of up to 16.5 million. He's on loan at Wigan. Hopefully he'll get some good game time with them, and we'll probably look at selling him at the end of this summer. What I have just noticed as well, actually, is one of the players I was after, David Fernandez-Vanitsky, we sold him last season. He must have been one of the players that was either sold before we came in or was pre-agreed to be sold. But he was a player we was looking at potentially buying, and just realised we actually sold him, and probably that's not a good bit of business. That's not a me bit of business, I don't think. The Amir Jusic, that was a loan back out. Mark Guehi, that was me from there down. So yeah, that must have been agreed before I came in, along with Arta Tiate and Ibrahim Isak. They must have been all agreed before I came in. In terms of season preview, we are still the favourites for the competition as far as I'm aware. Where are we? There you go. 2-1 favourites. Man United are 3-1. They've really closed the gap. Man City 6-1. Chelsea have done well as well. 13-2. Then Liverpool, Tottenham, blah, 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 blah. West Brom, Fulham and Aston Villa favourites to go down. Palace mid-table again, according to the bookmakers. So quite happy with that. We do only have Pataka in this dream. Restes in this Dream 11. I cannot believe that Kenta Mahara is not in it. I think this is shocking, to be quite honest, but it is what it is. Premier Division TV rights have been renewed and stayed exactly the same. They do every time they get renewed. There has been rumours of a potential takeover at the club rumbling throughout the summer, but because nothing's actually come of it, and nothing usually does, I've not really bothered mentioning it. I don't think the rumours are still there at the moment. Oh, there you go. Board alert, takeover in progress. They've changed the 5-year plan. It will come to nothing. I'm not worried about that in the slightest. In terms of our schedule, we have just won the Community Shield against Tottenham. Kai Havertz coming on as a second half substitute to score the goal from Ranieri with the assist. And yeah, I mean, they had a couple of shots, none on target. We were the better team. Possession-wise, only having 33% possession. That's a bit of a worry because we don't usually have that little possession. But it just shows that Tottenham being Tottenham, they don't know how to win a trophy. They don't know what to do with the possession or whatever else. Please don't hate me in the comments. Rest of pre-season went okay. We did lose a testimonial to Bayer Leverkusen. It was a Havertz testimonial that Havertz never even played in. And we're now ready for the game against Norwich. And if we look at the team news, there's no team news for us, but they have Ben Reid ineligible. Presumably he's just not in their squad. Fabrice Matondo is out with a twisted knee. If we have a look at him, I mean, he looks like quite a decent centre-back, bit on the short side for me, but decent enough player. And that's where we will pick up tomorrow with the first 2 games of the season against Norwich at home and West Ham away. Please leave a like on the video, folks. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you tomorrow for the first 2 games of Season 2 with Arsenal.